I'm Xander Tim. I'm an engineer at Lingenfelter Performance Engineering, and today I'm going to talk to you about our C8 adjustable spanner wrench for the shocks. There's three key features to the C8 spanner wrench. There's a large keyway to adjust a larger spanner, a small keyway to adjust a smaller spanner, and a keyway with a pin to adjust the collar that the spanner is thread on. The purpose for using these spanner wrenches is to adjust the height of the shocks so you can lower or raise the car. These spanner wrenches are designed to fit the front and rear shocks. They will not fit on the front shocks if you have the front lift option or the E60 option, but they will fit the rear shocks. Now we're going to show you how to use the C8 spanner wrench tool on the rear of the car. Step number one will be to jack the car up and put it on a jack stand and take the wheel off. Once you take the tire off, what you want to do is loosen the lower spanner jam nut, and that way you can have adjustment of the upper spanner. So what you want to do is put the larger spanner on, then the smaller spanner, and break the lower spanner free. Then thread the lower spanner collar all the way down to the very bottom. If you have any issues with the lower spanner gumming up on the threads, you can remove this dust cover and clean the threads, and then thread this lower spanner back on and then install a dust cover back on. Before you adjust this larger spanner to change the height of the car, we provided a scale on the small spanner, 1 to 3 inches in increments of 1/8 of an inch. And what you want to do is take a height measurement from the bottom of the larger spanner to the top of the smaller spanner, and then adjust the spanner, and you can see how much the suspension has moved. To adjust the car lower, what you want to do is take the larger spanner wrench, put it on the large spanner, and adjust clockwise. And you may notice that the collar is going to move, and that's where we got this feature built into the small spanner wrench. Dowel pin, and it fits right in that hole. It allows you to hold the collar while you're adjusting the large spanner. And with the collar fixed, now the large spanner is moving independently of the collar, and the suspension is getting lower. Once you think you've adjusted the car to the proper ride height, take a measurement, note the change between the before and after, and that's your adjustment in the shock. Repeat the same adjustment to the other side. The amount of adjustment you have on the shock here on the spring seat with the upper spanner is almost 1-to-1 ratio with how much lower the car is going to sit to the ground. Once you reach the desired height, you want to put the lower spanner, you want to thread it back onto the collar and back up to the upper spanner. Once you get the lower collar snug with your hand, you want to take the large spanner wrench and the small spanner wrench and snug it up, and then you've made all your adjustments. Once you've adjusted the suspension to the desired height and locked the locking ring, you can put the wheel back on, follow the start pattern, and torque to 140 pound-feet or 190 Newton meters. These parts were designed to fit in the C8 glove box for the customer to be able to store them in the car and travel with them when they go to the track or back home in the garage.